Hey, good morning. So now that Christmas is over, I thought we'd do something fun for Valentine's Day. And I'm re-recording the X and Plus block. I'm going to give you some new measurements so you can use this with a charm pack. I'm using, for this quilt, it's called Beautiful Day. It's by Moda, by Corey Yoder of Coriander Quilts. And I've already cracked this open and made this first block for you. So all my blocks centers are going to be black script on this. So I have a variety of those and I'll dig those out later, and that's what I'll be working on. Okay, so you're going to need 4 charms that measure 5 inches square. So I've got 4 of those here. You're going to need a piece that's 2.5 inches by 7.5 inches for your center of your square. If you're using a script, make sure that you're getting it cut in the way that you want it to go, so that you want it to read. Then you're going to need 2 pieces for the top and the bottom of your plus. And if you're using a script like I am, please make sure that your 2 pieces are reading the way that you want them to. And these are 2.5 inches by 3 inches. So 2.5 by 3 inches, okay? You'll need 2 of those. You'll need one that's 2.5 inches by 7.5 inches. You're gonna need 12 of these 2 by 2 inch squares of your background fabric, whatever background fabric you decide on. This is just a dot that I got down at Annalee's shop, Daydreams Quilts, in Idaho Falls. So I bought a bunch of this because I really loved it, and I think it's a great background fabric. So this will be fun. We're going to take 8 of these right now, and we're going to turn them so that the back side is up, and we're just going to draw a half square. We're going to draw across them diagonally, so I think that's 8 there. We'll see. Okay, so one at a time. Just take a small ruler. It doesn't have to be anything special. It can be just a straight edge that you have. And I am using an air erase. Oops, it's on this side. It's a Soline air erase pen. I like these. A friction pen will work. A pencil will work. Whatever you like to mark with. If you have a chalk marker, those are all going to work for this. We just need to draw a diagonal line straight across that edge. And I'm going to sew this in real time for you, so you're going to see exactly how this block comes together. Okay. It's been snowing all day here. It looks like a beautiful snow globe outside. I love to see that snow falling. It just makes the holidays nicer, I think, for me anyway. If you're an Arizona person, or you're following me from Australia, I have a lot of folks from Australia that follow me. It's summertime there, and Arizona and Southern California, they're getting there. They have beautiful warm weather, and a lot of snowbirds go down there. Okay, we've got those drawn on. We're going to set our X aside right now and just take your block, your little squares, 5-inch squares, 2.5-inch squares, and we're going to snowball just 2 of these corners. So you're going to sew directly on that line. And I'm going to chain piece these. It goes quicker. And you can do the same, or you can do them one at a time. It won't matter, whatever's comfortable for you. And there we go. I'll just stick that in there. And I find when you're doing this, if you will stitch just 1 needle's width to the outside, so 1 needle's width, it would be to the right on these, to the outside of that, you'll have a nice turn when you turn your fabric. We are going to stitch right on that line. or like I said, just a needle's width to the right of it. Okay, we've got those. I'm going to just snip these apart real quick, and we'll sew the other side. Okay. This block goes together so fast. It's so much fun, and you can really get scrappy with this. If you don't want to buy a charm pack, don't. Just dig into your fabric and cut yourself some 5-inch squares, and you are good to go. I just happen to have this Corey Yoder pack, and I thought it would be perfect for Valentine's Day. So you can get these going and get them done ahead of time, and you'll have a beautiful, beautiful quilt. When I'm done making this block, I did bring my quilt down here, and my X and Plus scrappy quilt that I made last year, and I put that in the Eastern Idaho State Fair and won a ribbon on it, so that was nice. And it was a fun quilt to make, and I'm going to do more of those this year. I just really enjoy that scrappy effect. Okay. I've seen people scrap their backgrounds as well. I like a background either dark or light on these. Okay, so we have snowballed both sides, and now we're just going to trim off the excess. You can save these and stitch them if you wish. Some people like to go ahead and stitch them right now so that they have them put together, and it makes a little half square triangle when you would do that. But they're very tiny, and I don't want to mess with that. So that's just my personal preference. But you can do what you would like. So we're just going to trim off 1/4 of an inch past our stitching, and that is going to give us exactly what we want as far as the snowballing is concerned. And this will be a really cute quilt for Valentine's Day. And you could mix it up. You could do some O blocks in between if you want, or some Irish chain blocks in between. I just like the overall effect that having all the X and Plus blocks gives me. Okay, so I'm gonna 86 that, and then I want to grab, let's see if I put it someplace special. I probably did. All right. Well, that's not going to work. Okay, I will press these really quickly. What we're going to do is press this open so that our seam, I can finger press these, that'll work. Our seam is to the back of the charm square, the charm square that we're using. So we're going to press it like that, okay? Same with all of these. Just go ahead and finger press them open. You can just use your fingernail. It's good to do this anyway because it gets that seam all the way open. Oftentimes, a new quilter will not get their seams open all the way, and then they can't understand why their block doesn't look right. Get those seams open all the way, and you'll be much happier with your result. Okay, those are looking good. And I will just give these a quick press after I get them stitched and finger pressed open here. I just like to have things nice and flat. And I'm going to turn to my iron real quick here. It's out of view for you, so I apologize. I've got a little ironing board upstairs, and I can certainly bring that down and put it on my table or a pad and do that so you can see it. But today I'm being lazy, and that's okay. I just want to get this block put together for you so you can see how easy it is and how much fun they are to make. Okay, those are all pressed. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to set these aside, and we're going to take a 2.5 inch. We're going to stitch it on both sides. This is our background fabric. And on this, we're going to stitch one to the top. So lay these out on your board just like I'm doing. That way you'll make sure you have your pieces the way you want them to go if you're using a script or a directional fabric. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stitch right along the edge here. 1/4 inch seam allowances on all of these. Okay, I'm going to turn this one down to the top like that. Again, just feed them in, chain stitch them right together. I'm going to turn this one up from the bottom, and I know that that's where I need to stitch my seam. Okay, those are done. I'll snip those apart. And I just have one little piece to put on the other side of this. And that's going to go right there. Line up your edges. You can pin if you need to. I don't need to pin on these. They're not big pieces and they'll go in just fine. Okay, now when you get these, go ahead and press to the dark side. So I'm going to again finger press this. Get your seam open all the way. Press to the dark fabric there. And on this also, we're going to press to the dark fabric. Now, I'm looking at this and I can see that that goes on the top. And press to the dark fabric. And I can see that that writing goes on the bottom. Okay? Now we're going to finish laying out our block. So I'm going to take one piece here, one piece here. Let me get that out of the way there. And we'll put this one here, and this one can go right here. Okay, so you should have your pieces going in an X, and this should be your plus. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this and stitch it together. And I like to start from the center, that way if there's any excess we can trim it if we need to on the outside of our block. Okay. Let me get that little piece down there. There we go. Okay. And then same with this, I'm going to start this from right here. Let me get that lined up a little bit better there. Come on, fingers. Okay. And these are all 1/4 inch seams. So I'm going to leave that one in, and I'm going to take this one out. And we're going to finger press towards the plus side of this, okay? So we've got that just like that. And we're going to do this on the other side as well. We'll grab it and line it up. We're going to stitch that 1/4 inch. Okay, we're going to trim this a little bit here. And we're going to finger press again towards our plus. Okay. And then I'm going to line this up like this. And we'll go ahead and stitch that. Okay. All right. Then we're going to take this and finger press open again, just like so. Same with this. We're going to finger press towards our plus. Okay, now we've got this. Now we can take this one and we can line it up here and stitch it. I'm going to show you a little trick when we get to the matching up the other side so that we get our plus in there straight. Okay. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to finger press that seam open and get it going to that center plus, okay? I'm going to give this just a quick press on my iron. Okay. All right, now how to match this up so it goes perfect. So you're going to flip this over, your top piece, and you're going to take your ruler and you're going to line it up right along your seam line here. So let me get this up where we can see it. Right along your seam line, and you're going to make a little mark right there, okay? You're going to do the same thing over here. You're going to line that up right along your seam line, and you're just going to put a little mark right there, okay? So you've got those marks, and you're going to bring your piece together, and you're going to line those marks up. So we should have one right there, and just tuck a little pin in it. And we've got one right here, and you just tuck a little pin in it. And don't worry about the rest of it. You're just going to smooth it out, start at the edge, and you want to just make sure that that center part is lined up and your block will come together beautifully. And you can chain piece these blocks just like nobody's business. You cut your pieces out ahead of time and get them where you want them, and you will have a whole quilt in just a very short period of time. Okay. There we are. We'll finger press that again to the center. Just like that. Let me get that with the iron real quick here so it lays flat for you. There you go. Isn't that fun? We had a quick and simple block, and we've got two now. And when these go together, they'll go together just like that. And I'm going to pull my quilt out of the bag and show you what it looks like when it's all quilted up. I won't be able to show you the whole thing, obviously, but because it's too large, but we'll get a good idea here. Okay, so this is the X and Plus block quilt that I made last year, and these are just all scraps. There are a variety of scraps out of my scrap pile, and nothing is out of the same fabric line. So all these pieces are different, and they all work together. So you just can be as creative as you want to be, and wild and crazy, and use up all your scraps and have a lot of fun with it. So I'm looking forward to doing this in the pink colorway. Now these blocks in this quilt are smaller, and they are 3.5 inches, and these are 2-inch squares here on the corners. So you can see that in the first video that I did. It's not probably as clear as this one because we're doing it in a different format, but I hope you enjoy this. This is a lot of fun. This quilt is a lot of fun to make. It comes out beautiful. It looks scrappy, and you're gonna just love it. You can quilt it up in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be fussy like this one was, but this is going to be a really pretty little quilt. And these blocks finish. These are bigger, and they're going to finish at about 11 inches square. So that'll give you a good idea of how many blocks you need to make your quilt. Measure your width and subtract 1/2 inch for each seam allowance. Because you're going to put these together, and there's going to be 1/4 inch taken from each side. So that is minus 1/2 inch. So decide how many blocks you want to go across and down for the size quilt you want. You can put a border on it or not. There's nothing really to match up with these. Don't worry if these pieces don't match up exactly. It's going to look great. The only thing you have to match up is this little part here, and it's just like matching up a 4-patch. Okay? So we'll do some more on that, and I hope that was valuable for you today and that you enjoyed it. Please give us a like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.